Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come and run my mouth just for a quick second. I always think something is on the side of my face, and I think it's just like the glare. You know how, like, when your eyes run, and then sometimes you have that white stuff, like, well, where it's dry right here? I always think that's what I always see as soon as I turn this camera on. Because there's nothing there. I just think it's the glare. Anyways, um, you know what I was thinking about? Before we get into hot topics, not to start off this hot topics too heavy, um, but last night we went live and we were talking about um, these guys named, I think, Shah Glizzy, and let me bring it up. Hold up, because I can't remember their names. Their names were Shy Glizzy and Ant Glizzy. I think they call themselves the Glizzy Gang. I'm not exactly sure. But we listened to a clip of one of the guys last night admitting to um, spiking women's drinks. And then, of course, y'all know what follows after that. We know they didn't go home and play dominoes. We know that they didn't take them home and, girl, they watched a movie. So we know what happened after they spiked their drinks. Okay. Um, and I thought about this and I was like, what's so sad? Is that there are probably no telling how many women out there who have been the R word by these men and have not come forward, right? Due to either shame, right? Probably blaming themselves, embarrassment, and then, of course, the public ridicule that comes with it. No one is going to believe them. They're going to, y'all know what happens. And I was like, this is really, really sad. There are probably no telling how many women out there who are sitting back and this has happened to them and they haven't said a word. We're going to talk about another situation because it just goes to show that y'all don't believe people, whether they wait to come forward with their truth 10 years or, girl, a few days. We're going to get into it in a little bit. You know what I want to talk about, though? I was so upset last night. So after I got off live, I was hungry. That's one of the reasons why I was trying to get off that live, because I was really hungry. And I had a taste for some wings. So I was like, well, I'm going to get me some wings, come back, girl, watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I had my whole thing, I was going to come back, girl, make me a good cocktail, eat my wings, and watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Went to Wingstop, and it's a Wingstop on Yale. I'm giving y'all all. It's a Wingstop on Yale that the people don't know, but I mean, if you live in Houston, you know what I'm talking about. Girl, I don't like that Wingstop. They don't know. When I say I want my chicken extra well done, like, this is my thing, girl. Girl, why do we even have to ask for extra well done chicken? Who wants soft chicken? Girl, not me. And I'm confused at the people that want it that way. Anyways, so I was like, I'm gonna go to the one in Third Ward. So I go to the one in Third Ward, place my order online, pull up, girl. It's one Wingstop. Girl, anyways, girl, I'm giving y'all all the locations. It's a Wingstop on Derry Ashford, honey. They like open up your food in front of you to show you, like, okay, this is this, which is the best thing to do because, girl, you checking your food, we opening your food to make sure that this is what you ordered. So I was expecting them to also do the same thing. When I walk in, they'll give you the bag. They'll take the food out, open up the containers to show you, okay, this is what you ordered. This is what you ordered. They didn't do. I said, girl, let me just check my own stuff. So I got the bag. I ordered cheese fries. no cheese on my fries. So I said, excuse me, I ordered cheese fries. So then he went and gave me a container of cheese. And I was like, I know these wings. If they can't even do something as simple as throw a little bit of cheese on some fries, then I know these wings are not right. Something told me to just open up that box and to just touch the wings to see if they were soft or like had a crisp to them. I said, no, it's going to be okay. I was hungry. Baby, come home, baby. When I tell them wings were so soft, when I tell I almost got them wings and threw them over the balcony, I was so angry. Girl, when I tell I was angry about the wings, so I'm in the kitchen trying to put them wings in the air fryer, trying to get a little crisp to them. I mean, I still ate them, girl, because I paid $20 for them. You know, Wingstop a little high now. Girl, my meal came out to be $20, so I wasn't gonna waste my food. But I was so evil. I was evil about those wings. Like, I don't understand how y'all just cannot follow simple directions, girl. I should have known my food was not gonna be cooked right just by the simple fact that they could even put cheese on my fries. Girl, if y'all missed, girl, cheese on my fries, and y'all sure didn't cook these wings right. Anyways, Jen Shaw. Let me tell y'all something. When they start sending the white women to jail, hey, girl, they coming for y'all. That's why y'all need to make sure y'all try and live y'all life the best way, girl, you can. Because, baby, when you get caught up, honey, when I tell you when it rains, it pours. I didn't realize that as many people were involved in, the scam that Jen Shaw had going over there. Girl, it was a few of them. Jen Shaw sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, plus 5 years supervised released. Girl. Now, I saw this on Twitter. I'm going to read all of this too. This is my first time actually reading it. But I saw this on Twitter. This guy was given the transcript of what happened inside of the courtroom. His name, well, they go by Inner City Press. All right, y'all. So I'm going to read this, okay? It's a lot, so try and keep up. So this is what the Judge Steen, had to say. I'm going to say the names as I read what was allegedly said. All right. So there is a need for general deterrence, and I must compare her sentence to those of others less responsible that she was. She was a leader of the conspiracy. How do you suggest I use general deterrence? Um, ooh, come on. Okay. Then someone replied, I guess this is one of the lawyers. I don't know. It just says Chaudhry, Chaudhry. This is a group of bandits, New Jersey to Arizona. And then Judge Stein said, including your client, right? And then they replied and said, yes, they are watching the sentences. And then the judge said, even after the sentences in the Katabachi case, your client continued. And then that person responded and said she was in denial. They also said, Your Honor, had a sentencing in the other case this week. Most didn't know about it. People have seen Ms. Shaw on the show. It is a general deterrence. Judge Stein said, what would the government like to tell me then, Ms. Shaw? Assistant U.S. Attorney Robert Soldman, he said that she didn't see. That's absurd. She ran a floor in New York half the time. Many of her co-defendants were drug addicted. Ms. Shaw worked hard, making as much money as she could for herself, defrauding the elderly. Every cooperator told us Jen Shaw is the boss. They all knew who she was. Jen Shaw was laughing in text message asking, did you get her to stop crying? About an 80-year-old woman. She told people how to do it. It was fraud. She opened her own floor. She moved things overseas. She starts dealing in cash. Ooh, girl. Nothing like it has been seen in this case before. There is not only one message from her that expresses any type of remorse, not one. The defense hasn't submitted any. That's how she that's that's how she felt even when she pled guilty. Our evidence was devastating. A month of trial. The idea that it was this is a man still. This is the attorney U.S. Was it attorney assistant U.S. Assistant United States attorney still talking? The idea that it was witness statements that impacted her and not our evidence is hard to believe. She says she's turned a new leaf. We're not so confident. She mocked the victims. She wrote, "You're making her fall in love with you." In her plea agreement, she admitted to being the leader of the conspiracy. Unlike others, Jen Shah lived a life of luxury. She didn't even need money. Her husband made a very good living. She didn't need to do the fraud, but she did it. She wanted that money. Even after arrest, she just sold merchandise. It's an aggravating factor. There were young and disabled people in your case earlier this week. This is them still talking. We proposed 120 months, which is a downward variance. Below that would be a disparity. Another less culpable got 72 months. Jen Shaw committed obstruction of the FTC and out investigation. And then the judge said she communicated with the deponent, and then they responded, correct. Her goal was not to help the co-defendant, but to keep herself out of it. I'll close about the victims. We traveled to California, and elsewhere to speak with them. They are older, vulnerable women targeted by the defendant. They will suffer. I only met with a few. There are thousands of victims. There are more than 1,000 on the restitution order. The call for punishment here is grave. And then the judge said, Ms. Shaw, I'm prepared to listen to you and the world. And then Jen started talking, sorry. This is what Jen, that fucking scammer, had to say. You and the world know me as Jen Shaw, but reality TV has nothing to do with reality. Even my tagline, Shawmazing, they wrote it. I want to speak about who I am. I stand before... Bitch, what I tell you, baby G? I stand before you as an immigrant from Tonga in Hawaii. The elderly command the most respect. I am the family matriarch. The principles are humility and loyalty and respect. I have come to terms. I have gone against these. I am sorry. My actions have hurt innocent people. I want to apologize by saying I am doing all I can. I'm doing all I can to earn the funds to pay restitution. I would say each victim's name if I could, but the federal privacy laws prevent it. And then the judge said, how will you raise the $6 million in restitution? And then Jen Shaw says, my manager is here. We're working on things. And then the judge said, while in prison? And then Jen Shaw said, yes. And then the judge said, you're still in the cast? And then Jen Shaw said, yes. And then she also said, I sold merchandise about this case through a third-party vendor. I will devote it to the victims. Thank you for reviewing my sensitive information. Long-standing untreated mental issues caused me to create my own fractured reality. This bitch. Ooh. This is a crucible moment for me. With the proper medication, I can now see what happened. I wish I could have stood outside myself. I am sorry. I have found solace in my volunteer work with racism. Or don't bring us into it. Oh, Alpha. With anti-racism organizations and the LGBTQ. Baby, we ain't got nothing to do. The girls ain't got nothing to do. The girls ain't got. Well, some of the girls was working for you, I guess. So I guess they got something to do with it. But for the most part, girl, we wasn't over there. We was over about it. Don't bring us into this, Jen. To my baby Omar, mommy is so sorry you were woken up at gunpoint. My late father, I want to tell him I am sorry. I am humbled by your love for me. Thank you. And then the judge said, um, anything else? And then Charge, I guess that's her attorney, said no. And then the judge said, my intention is to impose a sentence of 78 months of incarceration. And other conditions, any formal objection to the procedure. And then Chaudhry said no. And then the judge said, please rise. Guideline range, 135 to 168 months. I sentence you to 78 months. And then judge said, I'm concerned, Ms. Shaw, that you say your manager is here. If you intend to profit from this procedure, there should be no intention to profit from this crime. I assume the government will take steps, assets in Kosovo or Cyprus. Then the judge also said the filings also speak of bags and other items. There is no question that from 2012 and 2021, Ms. Shaw was in a conspiracy that took tens of millions of dollars from elderly people. She ran a sales floor that she said she didn't speak to the victim. It was only because she was high up in the conspiracy. I do remember some of the texts she sent belittling the victims. She brazenly continued and hid her activities, including moving operations overseas. Ooh, girl, Jen, girl, you was a whole scammer. Bitch! Jen, you was a scammer. While Judge Steen is still speaking, a U.S. attorney for the SDNY announced that Jennifer Shaw was sentenced today by the U.S. District Judge Sidney H. Steen to 78 months in prison while running a nationwide telemarketing fraud scheme. Judge Steen also says, I did not sentence Ms. Shaw as a government request, but I do believe it takes into account all of the factors of 3553A. I'm keeping you on supervised release for 5 years, Ms. Shaw, to make sure you don't end up committing another crime. Ms. Shaw, you have the right to appeal. Just tell Ms. Caudry, oh, it was a woman, any underlying indictments or counts. We move to dismiss count 2. I grant the motion, surrender to prison on February the 17th, 2023. Then her attorney said, Ms. Shaw's manager is here as a friend, and please designate her to prison in Texas. It has a RDAP and is closest minimum security. And then the judge said, I'm not going to designate a specific facility. I'll just say Texas region. Hold up. Oh, and that's it. I mean, it really ain't nothing. It's really nothing to say. But I mean, girl, the truth of the matter is, girl, I remember when Real Housewives of Salt Lake City first premiered. I wasn't watching it, and then I end up going back, and I caught up on all the episodes, and I didn't review the episodes, but I reviewed the reunion. But I think I was just talking about it, like here and there, like, okay, y'all, I'm on episode 5. I'm on episode, 6. I'm on episode 8. This is what I see going on. I think that's what I was doing, but I don't remember like reviewing the show, the first season. I remember just doing the reunion. But one of the questions that I definitely had, and the girls will tell you, when y'all be out here, girl, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, probably because I'm nosy as hell. But when y'all be out here living these good highfalutin lives, I start to have questions. And I was over here sitting like, how the hell does Jen afford this lifestyle? Because yes, her husband is a coach. But girl, from what I understand, her husband was just like an assistant coach. And it's not like he was an assistant coach for girl for the New England Patriots, girl. It was some little university up there in Utah, I guess. Girl. So I'm like, girl. And then I would see Jen go. I remember when the cast went to Las Vegas and Jen they went shopping and like she got one of the stores. The store was closed basically just for her and I think she took Heather shopping. I'm like, bitch, you got to be a woman or a man in a particular tax bracket. Even if a store is closed, for them to come and open up the store for you specifically, girl, you have to be you have to be okay with money. Cause girl, Forever 21 ain't even gonna open up the store for me. Girl, okay, Gap not even gonna open up the store for me. Girl, anything they kicking your ass out at 8 o'clock. Sir, it is 7:59. We about to close. You got to come back tomorrow and try them pants on. So, girl, I'm like, girl, this girl in here with like the designers, like a designer store. And I was asking her, girl, what the fuck does Jen Shah do? Girl, because she lives a good life. She lives a good life. Y'all remember us talking about this? I was like, girl, Jen lives a good life. And I'm not mad at nobody, because, girl, I'm trying to live like that too, girl. I'm not trying to get it how y'all get it. Girl, I'm trying to get it the legal way, okay? Girl, so it's like, girl, you live a real good life. And when I tell you the math was not mathing for me, I was like, the math ain't mathing. Because this don't make no sense. And then when they got to the reunion and Jen Shah tried to explain what she did, and even in my review, I was like, I don't even know what Jen Shah do. I was confused. Like, I don't know. She said she tried to tell us. I don't know. And I think Heather was trying to help her explain what she did. I don't know. I was like, this is okay, girl, whatever, child. And I was just like, I'm gonna let it go because, girl, this don't even sound very good. This not good. I don't know, child. But I don't think I don't think I ever really thought that she was just like, just scamming like this. And then when she had how many assistants? Like 8? I'm like, girl, it's only a few people in the world that probably need 8 assistants, right? Just a few. And it's probably because they just got busy, hectic schedules. And then even then, girl, you probably don't even need 8. Probably 2 or 3 at the most. Girl, what do you got going on where you need 8 assistants, okay? 8? Girl, I'm sure Kim and Beyonce don't even got 8 assistants, girl. They probably got 3. I can see them having probably 3. Maybe even 4. Like when Beyonce go on tour, she might have 3 or 4. And even then, girl, Beyonce, she give me so, like, she's very close, like she wants to have the right people around her. Because she might only push it with 2. Okay? But girl, anyways, I just didn't see how Jen Shah would have that many assists. Like, it was just a lot of stuff that just was not adding up to me. Right? But she got 6. Y'all think she gonna do the full 6.5, right? Coach Shaw, if you need somebody to come over and rub your back, hey, give me a call. No, girl, don't call me girls. I don't rub no niggas' backs. Girl, you can rub mine. Okay? But if you want somebody to come over and lay up with you and just watch a little movie, girl, just call me. You know, Coach Shaw is fine to me, child. Girl. Even though I'm still trying to figure out too, Coach Shaw. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna let it go because clearly you ain't did nothing wrong. Because if you did, they would have came after your ass too. But girl, it just amazes me how that man, how you been with this woman since college, and you ain't know how this woman was getting this money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. That right there don't add up to me either. And I know I keep saying this, and I know some of you probably roll your eyes. And yes, I guess it is me defending the rich white woman, but at least in Erica Jane's case, girl, she came and took the money. Okay? Erica Jane was just a hoe that girl Tom picked up at the strip club. Okay? She was the third wife. The other ones had aged out, I guess. And so he went and got him a little young, white, girl from the local strip joint. But with Jen Shaw and Coach Shaw, they've been together since college. Since they were young. So it's hard for me to understand, girl, how you ain't know what this woman was doing. You ain't never walked into that bitch closet and said, how the fuck you affording all these clothes? Cause girl, I know how much I make. Anyway, Shah. That's all I wanted to talk about. I just want to talk about Jen Shaw. Oh, we can keep talking. Don Lemon criticized for questioning Prince Harry's decision to air out family drama. Hey, Don, are you okay with someone being abused? So the co-anchor of CNN this morning began trending on social media after asking if Prince Harry's decision to publicize his family drama is justified. In Don Lemon's opinion, the sharing details of physical assault by his older brother, Prince William, wasn't necessarily the right thing to do because people have arguments with their family members. He said, I don't know. Everyone has a family. I have arguments in my family, and I'm going to put that out there for the whole world to see. I just don't understand why on earth he will want to put that out there. I know he's selling a book, but to me, it's just not done. Although there have been many stories and speculations regarding the relationships over the years between the brothers, blah, blah, blah. This is how I feel. You know what's so crazy? I remember Erica De Niro used to always say, be mindful of the role that you play in people's lives because whenever they retell the story, depending on the role that you play, girl, you might not like you might not like when the story is retold. And that's how I feel like. Would I want my family to come out and talk about me? No, but girl, I also sat back and thought about it. Girl, it's really not too much they can say. I mean, girl, maybe, girl, he's an asshole sometimes. He a bitch sometimes, girl. He got an attitude sometimes, but for the most part, that's pretty much, I feel like that's all they can really say. So that wouldn't bother me, because I'd be like there, yeah. Leave me the fuck alone then, right? But no, I don't really have an issue. You know what I think happens in situations like this? Because I have seen people say that Meghan and Prince Harry are oversharing. I think what happens is people tend to put celebrities on a pedestal, and people tend to think that they know these celebrities because of what we see in the blogs, or even if they do a little, 7-minute interview, right? We think we know these celebrities. And the truth of the matter is, we don't know these people. Like, you don't know Beyonce. You don't know Prince Harry. You don't know, you don't know these people, right? So I think And I think that was one of the issues, like with Jada and Will. So when these people start to come out and they start to tell their stories, right? And then it starts to seem like, oh, they go through regular shit just like us, right? They fighting they brothers just like my brother and me got into a fight, right? So I think that at that point it's kind of like, oh girl, they're kind of normal in a way, right? And I think that drives people insane because you already had in your head about how these people are, and now they're ruining your fantasy, right? Now Prince Harry is coming out and saying all this stuff, and is ruining whatever you already had in your head about how you thought that Prince Harry and his family really was. And now y'all just want him to just stop talking. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think like with Will and Jada. When Will and Jada, started talking, I think it upset people because they had already put Will and Jada, and especially their marriage, on a pedestal, right? And then when they started talking and you realize that their marriage is not what you thought it was, right? And that they move in their marriage according to their own terms, it ruins your fantasy. It ruins your it's for a lot of y'all, it ruins y'all black love fantasy. So y'all just don't want the people to talk. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Okay. Wells Fargo top executive fired after urinating on a 72-year-old woman on a plane. Girl, this is a mess. I felt kind of bad for him after I read this story. So, neighbors, a Wells Fargo executive has been fired a little bit, but I'm going to get into his ass too. Neighbors, a Wells Fargo executive has been fired for doing some nasty A-ish urinating on a woman on a damn plane. According to People, Shankar Mishra, he cute too, who local media reports said was a vice president of the bank's India operations, was fired after a 72-year-old woman wrote to Air India's management to complain about the incident that went down back on November the 26th. On the flight, he urinated on the elderly woman who was seated next to him in business class. He apparently had too much to drink on the plane. In the complaint, it said that he urinated on her and kept standing there until the person sitting next to him tapped him and told him to go back to his seat. Once he sobered, he apparently was crying profusely and apologized to the woman. Well, his employer wasn't here for it. Wells Fargo holds employees to the highest standards of professional and personal. Girl, y'all now y'all know y'all lying because, girl, as much as I see Wells Fargo in the goddamn news for, girl, let me shut up. Personal behavior, and we find these allegations deeply disturbing. The individual has been terminated from Wells Fargo. Girl, you know what's girl? That man was probably blacked out. He didn't know what was going on. But see, this is what I be trying to tell y'all, girl. Some of y'all girls ain't real drinkers. I'm a drinker. Girl, that ain't nothing to brag about. But what I am saying is this, girl. When I do, I don't like to get drunk. I don't like to get drunk to the point where, girl, when it's time for me to go to bed, the wall is spinning. I can't go to sleep. I like to, once I know I'm at a certain point, it's time to cut it off, right? Um, but girl, I've never been, even in the times where I have been pissy drunk. Girl, I don't recall even my friends telling me that I was just acting a complete fool. But for the most part, I really mind my business. I know everybody operates differently under alcohol. I'm one of the ones who I probably start talking your ear off. You know what I'm saying? I might get up and do a little two-step. But for the most part, girl, I'm like a mind my business type of drunk. Girl. But girl, this man clearly, girl, all I'm gonna say is this. Girl, I really feel like he probably felt bad. He probably didn't even know what the fuck was going on. But girl, you too fucking old. Let me just say something. We are at the age, however old this man is, he old enough. Okay? We are too old not to be able to control our alcohol. You know, sir, you know how you get when you drink. Because I'm sure your friends have told you how you get when you drink. So I don't know why you get your ass on a plane knowing you act a certain way. Because by the time you reach a certain age, you know how you are when you drink. Like I said, even if you don't know, your friends done told you, girl, you be acting a fool when you drink, girl. So now you on the plane, you're pissy drunk, girl, probably thinking that you're in the bathroom pissing, and girl, you done whipped your dick out in front of this lady and pissing on this lady. Girl, well, you knew damn well your ass should have stopped at one drink. And then on Quiet as It Kept, you was probably in, girl, one of the lounges at the airport, probably just tossing back free drinks. So you probably was even drunk before you got on the plane. And then had a couple of more drinks in first class. Just a mess. Girl, he lost his job. Girl, you don't need to drink no more. Because you clearly don't know how to handle your alcohol, sir. And that's just what that comes down to. All right, y'all. I'm hungry. I'm about to go get something to eat. I need to go in this kitchen and fix something to eat, okay? All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.